Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson, and I have LD here with us. And you're watching Glenda's Dragons. Then I just want to take this moment to say thank you to everyone who joins us every week, whether you see us live or you see us later. Thank you for that. Thank you for supporting us. Don't forget to just hit the like and share away because this allows others to also enjoy what you are enjoying at this moment. Today we have a phenomenal guest who we are very blessed has you know, agreed to come on the show. Toni Ghazi, nice to meet you. Tell us all about you.
Oh my God, Glenda. Hi, LD. Thank you so much for having me here. And of course, thank you for the audience. Oh my God, we need 25 episodes for that.
We'll
Oh,
figure out how to get them in.
Yeah.
like totally unlimited episodes because it keeps unfolding every moment. I mean, my life has been such a whirlwind of magic. And it's funny that your show is actually called Glenda's Magical Creations, and these. And I love the music as we were entering, like in it. It was so like fantasy filled. I'm like, I like my body went into into fantasy land. So thank you for that. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. So I'm Lebanese. I was born in Lebanon, the Middle East, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 15 years old to Washington D.C. area, and I live in Washington D.C. for the past like 15 years or like so. I think I can't remember. Didn't speak any English when I moved to the U.S. Straight into high school. So. As a freshman. So it was a quite of an interesting journey to like not be able to speak the language at all, but yet really make it. And I really, looking back now, I feel that it was like really energetic that I was able to decipher. Because how can I really function in an English spoken world and I don't even know the language, like none of
Mhm.
it. So and then I have had a few experiences like when I was a child. So like one cool experience, like when we moved to the US, and I come from a very poor family, like very modest family. So like we didn't have a lot of money or anything like that. My parents didn't speak English either. But like somehow I began receiving home these magazines that were by SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrials. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't have money. I didn't read English, but all of a sudden this magazine like began appearing with all these satellites, with like the sky, like with alien ideas, and I didn't know what that was really, but the fact that came into my vibration, at such a young age, and I didn't sign up for it was crazy. Of course, I totally like forgot about that until I awoke. So I stutter, and I've always stuttered like since I was a child, and I use the word and then like to help me transition because if I don't, I just cannot say the word. I just would not come out. So like you're gonna hear a lot of ums, like you're gonna hear a lot of likes. It's something that I had to embrace as like part of who I am because I really was traumatized when I was a child until I want to say till I was 22 years old. I hated going to school. I loved learning, but I did not want to get called on. And of course, I would get called on every day. And like the fact that I like needed to speak would just put me in this trauma state. But now I know, like through the Mantis beings, that I didn't need to speak a lot because I could communicate with energy, and I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
But like the cool thing is that when I channel, all my stuttering goes away, and I'm like so flowy. I feel so free. I've been a prisoner of my throat and speech for years, and I still am, like at times, right? But like when I channel, I think I leave my body and just like become your energy, which is beautiful. And that was my proof to me, like this person that started all his life and really still does, that, oh my God, when I'm in the channeling state, I am in a different vibration. I am in a different frequency. I'm not the same person who I am now.
Mhm.
And like this is all the proof like that I needed, of course, apart from the images I get and all the confirmations like I get with clients and just crazy stuff that happens. And the world that they like take me into is truly magical. Like, look, I don't read books. Yeah, I read like one book like back in college that was called Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. That's the only book that I read. I just don't have bandwidth to read books. I can hear things, I can like watch things, right? So I know in like my mind, I don't have this like magical vocabulary and this fantasy things that I've read, Harry Potter, I don't know what else, and all these books where they take you to worlds. But like when I channel like the praying mantis, they bring me to worlds that I know I didn't read in this lifetime, right? So my other proof that this information that I'm getting, this like imagination, this other information is not coming from this like bank of information I have in my mind. It's really coming from like consciousness where all exists. Now, I was really asleep until I was 40 years old when COVID hit. And I'm 44 right now. And when I say I was completely asleep, I was very asleep, very into the like the 3D world, very into lack mentality, right? Because I grew up with lack. All of the limitations that any human could have and experience what a limitation is, I have. Insecurities, I don't know what else, crazy stuff. And then COVID hits, and the whole world shuts down. And my husband is like glued to the TV, like not leaving it. And there's like breaking news every 3 seconds. I'm like, how many breaking news can you have like per day, right? Like the idea of like breaking news is you have a breaking news, maybe one. It was like breaking news after breaking news. And he's sitting there in fear and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it didn't resonate with me at all. I didn't resonate to put a mask on. I didn't believe in like vaccines and all that stuff like they would throw at you. I just didn't like believe that I need to subscribe like to. Now, I have my 3D job, so I'm a realtor. And I show houses and all these things, and just out of respect and like people's fear like levels, I would wear a mask. But like the way that I felt, and like like my belief system is that I don't need protection because I am love and I am light. That's simple. And like nothing can like enter like my vibration. I love unless you are of love and light. So like COVID was really like my awakening that kind of like propelled me into this world. Mm-hmm. In the first 3 or 4 months when the US found out about COVID, everything kind of halted, right? And I began watching these documentaries. And when I say out of the blue, like I don't know anything about consciousness, I don't know what channeling was. I knew like a little about little bit about alien. I know nothing about astrology, astronomy, all the conscious stuff. All of a sudden, like these documentaries would like pop up on the screen where I would watch them, obsessed. And there's like one show on the Gaia channel that's called Interview with Extraterrestrials by Ruben Langdon, where he brought, I don't know, 8 or 12 like channelers, like they've been channeling like since the 80s. And I was obsessed like with that show. Listen, I understood the English of like what was being said. I understood what they were saying, but I didn't understand the whole context of spirituality, and a lot of it did not make sense. I'm like, what? And is it like there was a lot of disbelief as I was watching, but I'm not turning the channel on, and I'm not watching the episodes, and I'm watching each episode 2 or 3 times, like for the next 2 or 3 months. And then I realized later that everything that my mind like thought like was absorbing, like my consciousness really understood, and it would get unlocked on my journey like the next year. So as I'm going on and like my mind is expanding and I'm experiencing things, and like now I'm seeing UFOs and I have light ships above my house and blah blah blah, and I have a past life regression where I meet the Praying-Mantis Beings. That was my first like interaction with them. When as that being like unfolded all synchronistically, like pieces of that show that I watched maybe, I don't know, 8 times or 9 times, these like 24 episodes began like filling the like the blank spots, right? And then I was thrown into oblivion. And when I say like oblivion in like a good sense of just I was in the infinite of all of it, where I knew and I had this knowingness that I didn't need more proof to believe that I am infinite. I didn't need more proof to believe that we're all interconnected. I don't need more proof anymore to like to know that what we see and what we experience in this reality isn't what it is.
Right.
It is more, it is beyond, etc., etc. And there's more details in between that I can get like into, but the cool thing is I sleep extremely well. I can take naps on command. I can get up and like go to the bathroom 8 times. I can go, I'm like right like back to bed. But ever since I awoke, I would wake up in the middle of like of the night at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. At like 5 a.m. where I cannot sleep at all for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing like mindless stuff. I'm on like Facebook or Instagram, or I'm just looking up stuff and my body's exhausted. Like my mind's like, I just need to go to bed, but I can't. And I'm doing this crazy stuff just to pass the time, to kind of like get myself tired. And I knew like through that experience that I'm getting downloads that would be like revealed in like the next week or like next week or like the next few weeks. And then I had one, like one night where I was doing this mindless stuff, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put a decal on the back of my car, like that says that I channel extra-dimensional beings, and drive around Washington D.C. in this conservative like place. And I have alien
Good
hats.
place to do it, because there's a lot of them there.
Exactly. And I have alien hats. I have Bigfoot. I have spaceships, and I have this massive decal. It's like 4 lines. And look, I have clients that get in my car. I show houses. I have strangers in my car all the time. And I'm going like, and I didn't care about any of that. I just needed to put that decal on the car. It was like a calling that I had to do. Look, I'm a realtor. I've never put on my car that I sell real estate, that I can help you sell a house or like buy a house ever. And I'm not called to do that. And I would never do that. And I still don't have it like to this day. But what I have on on the back of my car is that I channel extra-dimensional beings, and I'm a spiritual guide, and I have all like all of these aliens. That to me was my like declaration like to the universe that I am ready for the next like for this new version of me, for this new role. I don't know like where it's gonna take me, like, but I'm ready. And the floodgates open, and I have chills right now. If you see in a second,
Yeah.
you see them?
Wow.
And the floodgates open. Like I knew nothing about like these events that I'm attending. I've been attending every event for the past 8 months. I have each event like from now until next, I think June. In like some month, I have 2 or 3 events while doing real estate, while having a family, while having 4 dogs. Crazy. But I knew nothing about those events or like consciousness. But all of a sudden, like synchronicity would just bring them like to me, and I would call like the founders of these events, and I would tell them like who I am, and like they would just book me. It's that simple. And just everything unfolded. It became this magical world of just going on stage and like channeling live and like talking to people and just expressing my truth and being in that version of who I really saw. And now I have all these podcast interviews that I'm doing, and I'm writing a book, and it's just been insane. Because when I began channeling, which was 3 years ago, I like took this class like that was for 6 weeks, where you meet on Zoom for like 2 hours each week. And I knew like from the first class that I'm like meant to be a channel, but I had no idea that I would be like where I am today. I had no idea how immersed I would be in it, how I would embrace like this version of me, how I don't have fear like in my life anymore. I know like who I am. And like the reason that I'm saying that is like to encourage your audience that whatever job you have, whatever it is, you are a multidimensional being. You are not that one job. You are not like just a male. You are not like just a female. You are not just the daughter of this person or this son or whatever. You're not an architect or a doctor or a janitor or like a landscaper. You're all of it. And when you begin really like opening up to know that you are multidimensional, and that's a very important word, you begin to connect with the other aspects of who you are, and like the ones that are ready like to emerge will come to you. And when you embrace them, you can then be all of them. Like with me, I don't know like how long I will be a channel, right? Because people ask me, oh, like this is, are you gonna quit real estate and like do channeling? I'm like, so I say like yes, that I may do that, but also I have a lot of other facets of me that may want to emerge. They may want to come. So I keep it open. All of it. I can do all of it at once, or I can do like just one of them, right? So it's really important to understand that you're more than just the one identity. That you're all. Yeah, and I think I lost you guys, but I'm still here.
So,
Yeah.
Tony, what was
Oh,
your
yeah.
aha moment?
The past life regression that I had, the first past life regression, regression. I don't know why my words got like jumbled up. Immediately, like when I went into it, under hypnosis, I like the praying mantis head came through, and it was the like rectangular head,
Mhm.
and it was a quick flash, but yet it wasn't quick. Like it just came quick, and I had this instant knowingness that I am a praying mantis, that I lived as a praying mantis, that they're my family, that I'm one of them. There's nothing that could shake me away from that knowingness. The next image that came through is this like long body silhouette of like 20 feet high, like I could say, of like this energy that I knew they were praying mantises, but they told me is your brain or like your limited mind is not able to comprehend the all and what you haven't seen, that like we're giving you like this archetype of this long-bodied silhouette that like may look like a human, just to help your mind be able to absorb who like we are from a very expanded view. And then the next image that came through is this heart. They put me in this heart that was infinite. And when I say, and I have chills again.
Ooh, wow,
And infinite, I was literally, oh my God, now it's really chickeny. Like chicken. It was this infinite layer inside the heart. And I knew that I was that. I was this infinite of pure love. But like this infinity of the layers, like we're all faceted with this clear crystal. I mean, if we think we know what clear crystal is, like our minds haven't been able to view what clear crystal is. It was just these like facets of this infinite. And there's just one spark of light in like the middle of like this infinity. And like they said, you are such a powerful being that you don't need a large fire or a big bang to know that you are extremely strong and extremely powerful. All you need is this small, almost grain of sand that is light. And through that light, and I'm getting more chills now, it will emanate, oh my goodness, it's my whole body's like this one little spark of light like will emanate from like the one facet. It will reflect to the next, to the next, to the next. It will continue on to like infinity to create the Merkaba of light, the vehicle of light that you all are. And these three in like succession really solidified, oh my God, really solidified who I am, who we are, what humanity is, what the mission is, that love and unconditional heart is everything, is the glue of the fabric of creation. And that was like mind knowingness that, and then everything like from there on just began really unfolding in magical ways, right? And then I get these light shifts that I have on my phone that I can show you guys. I have these fairies that would come up to my camera. I have UFOs that fly like over my house at super fast rate, but I have to pause them and like move the screen like little by little, like to know that they're there. Mm-hmm. And like oftentimes I shoot these videos and I have no idea what is in there, but then like a year later or like 3 months later, I would just get called to watch it again and just like pause it and like zoom it little by little, and then I would see them. It's crazy stuff.
So with that understanding, what's your understanding of what we are?
We are pure energy. We are always existing. There is no death. There is not a point where we are disconnected either. We are always connected to everything. We are the leaves, you are the rivers, you are the sunlight, you are the wind, you are the animals, you are the insects, you are the rocks, you are the volcanoes, you are all these planets, you are the universe, you are conscious, we are all of it. It's just because we believe in the idea of separation that we experience the world from a separate point of view. where we see a tree and we think the tree is very separate than us, when really the tree and the leaves and everything else is part of who we are. But because of our definition system of how we created the world should be, we experience it from that way. And
Well,
when
how
I
do
say
I
that,
control you if I am you?
one more time, how do I?
How do I control you if I am you? I have to convince you that I'm better than you to create the illusion of control.
Exactly, the illusion, because there is no control, because you are it to begin with. And we are all mirrors of each other. So when you say, if I control you, like you meaning like this other person, you're really talking to yourself to begin with. But you're giving the opportunity from this self to communicate with that self to be able like to learn from each other. They told me like recently they were all ascended masters. Every single like single one of us, human, plant, everything, all of the consciousness is ascended mastery, learning from each other, and through the co-creation and like the interaction and the idea of limitation that we created. Mm-hmm. And the perspective that I see my world from my view, from my lens, you see like your world from your view, your lens, and all the other layers of trauma, experiences of like cultures, of family, of your own like expansion. All of it is to continue the expansion of us, mm-hmm. like to begin with. So the idea of control is not.
And that's only possible because perception is projection.
Thank you for saying the word projection, because our heart is the projector of our reality.
Exactly. If we allow it, because we always have free will.
Yes. But constantly, that's what it's doing. That's almost like the continuous job of the heart. Whether you're aware that it is, mm-hmm. it gives you more power to create you work to, like when you become like aware that you are the projector, and everything that I see out there, every experience I have, every trauma, every joy, every happiness is really happening from here, because this is the projector.
Right.
When you become aware and believe that it really is, then you have the power in a sense to manipulate the projector and see what you want to see, experience what you want to experience. Right? Because as a projector, like when it's hanging off the ceiling and it's giving the image on the wall, what's happening is not on the wall. It's right. Within the projector, but the illusion is it's on the wall. And that's what our reality is. And oftentimes we really understand things like intellectually, but we don't understand, like they said, what it really means. When they talk about
trauma, it's hard for us to do surrender.
Say it one more time. I heard the surrender.
Because of trauma, it's hard for us to do surrender.
Yes.
And until you can do surrender, you're going to be constantly creating the reality that you feel safest in.
Yes. And then how you see trauma. The mantises, when they begin talking about unconditional love, they truly mean it for everything. For wars, for perpetrators, for serial killers, for any awful on like the spectrum of judgment that our humanity has created, like all the bad stuff that a human could do. It sees it with unconditional love, because it's all ascended mastery to teach like their being, right? So when you begin redefining trauma as my teacher, and
or
what
my opportunity,
it becomes an opportunity,
right.
And your experience of that trauma will open up a new world that you didn't see before. Mm-hmm. But if you like give your power away to that trauma that appears to be outside of you, this is why everybody
to the fear-based emotion whirlpool.
Exactly. It's all within our control. It's all within our hearts. But even intellectually, and I'm getting more chills right now, like we've been so brainwashed, or like so trained, I should say, as a society, as like cultures. I mean, all these layers, like family, what you experience at school, what you watch on TV, what you watch on like social media, like the government, blah, 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 all layer after layer after layer after layer of how life should be, of who you actually are, of how separate you are, religion and this and that, and outward, everything is outside. Everybody's running to a destination, and you never reach the destination. I mean, I have so many clients that have all these businesses and so much wealth, and I don't know what else, and running, and they quit everything because like they realize they're like, and And like, this is not to say that wealth, there's anything wrong with wealth from the financial aspect, but like they're running to something, whether it's wealth, success, I don't know, like being this or that. Exactly. The destination is right here, right now. The destination is being in this moment and honoring this moment, honoring the trauma, honoring what you're going through. Because when you honor it and see it and make it a valid part of reality, because it is a like valid part of reality. When you do that, you integrate it back to your heart and it becomes part of you. All the traumas and all the separations, like the menses, like and like they say so eloquently, like when I go in the channeling state, but like what they've said many times is, we live in such a world that is like so segregated and like so separate that every time we don't want to face something, if it's a trauma or a new idea, we're creating like physical distance, like from that thing or like concept. But that thing and that concept is you, and you're creating a distance from a piece of you that should be here, now there and there and there and there and there. But when you like begin validifying and making everything as truly part of creation, as a valid ascended master to teach you, and see it from a compassionate heart, from a loving heart, and really like see it, meet it for the first time from an open heart. Like, as challenging, and I'm getting more chills now, as challenging as you may seem to me right now through my limited like definition, and as hard as for me to be in front of you, I accept for who you are, and you are me. That's a hard thing for us to say. That trauma is me. Whatever happened to me that I thought happened to me, happened through me and by me to teach me something. When you begin viewing that trauma, you bring that piece that was so far away from you back into your heart. And they showed me this beautiful like image during like a channeling of this like beautiful painting. That's who you are as a whole being. Whole, WHOLE. And our life right now, and our picture of who we are, has holes in it. HOLES. It's filled with holes. But when you face all those traumas, all those things that happen to you, and bring them back with love and compassion, you melt them back into your heart. And that hole, HOLE, you plug it back in, and like soon enough, you begin to see your totality, and you begin to see yourself as a whole being, the true beautiful being that you are. Love melts. It's like a volcano. It's like lava. It melts away any old belief system, and it allows you to restructure it and rebuild it and recreate something anew. I mean, insane like knowingness, right? And as your audience hears this, know that beyond the physical words that are being spoken, there's a lot of energy language. There's light language. If your audience like knows like what that is, there's more information packed behind the words that words aren't able to describe an infinite like packet. So know there's a lot of work being done. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of activations. There's a lot of things happening when we speak like from this manner, when you speak from an act of love, even when you challenge yourself to begin thinking unconditionally loving. Just that act alone is already creating magic like within your life. And I cannot tell you, when you surrender, regardless of what you see on the outside, regardless of the trend that happened to you, that, I've tried this before and it really didn't work, so I'm going to give up. If you really tried from an unconditional heart space, believe me, magic will instantaneously happen. But you have to continue being in that vibration and frequency for the reflection to show you back that you are. Right?
Well,
like
what
you can't.
People don't understand is that we become what we allow.
Yes.
And then we have to undo all of that.
Yes. And you become what you
get to that point of surrender.
Totally. And speech is very important. Words are very important. Right? It's like, what's spelling words? Spelling, magic. That's exactly what it is. So be careful. Sorry?
It's energy.
It's energy. So be careful of what you say. Even if you choose to live in a reality that's dark and evil and experience, that's totally okay. And when you begin honoring other people's journey, that's the other thing that humanity really struggles with. Easy for us to judge others. Oh, he did this, she did that, da da da, and this is bad, and this is the right way, and that's the wrong way. Separation, separation, separation. You truly have to honor from an unconditioned love that being that you're witnessing, that human that you are seeing, when they're making those choices that from your lens seem to be bad and wrong on the judgment, on the spectrum of judgment. When you begin judging him or her, who is an ascended master to begin with, who is you to begin with, then you're truly being unconditionally loving. Unconditional love means unconditional love.
Well, what does the ascended master say about gossip? In every recorded reference to how gossip should be viewed.
Yeah. Well, what's gossip? I mean,
well, when you say, did you see that? Did you know that they are this and this is that? And that, when you're going outward to deflect who you are.
Yeah, totally.
So every ascended master feels that is the worst transgression that one can do.
Yes. And look, I used to disempower like a lot of people like before, because it's almost built into our way of living. If you see homeless on the street, if you see wars, if you see like kids being killed or parents being killed or whatever, all of the traumas of our physical reality, I would like feel bad and and oh my god, But what I didn't realize what was happening is I was disempowering these ascended masters.
Right.
And by me seeing them as being disempowered, I'm continually creating that reality for them and for me to witness again. Because again, words and our emotions and what we think and what we imagine is all magic. So if I continue seeing these beings as being disempowered, homeless, war, kids dying, whatever, then I'm kind of feeding that energy to continue that storyline. And I completely shifted my mindset, and I really watch what I see, what I say, and I begin seeing them as ascended masters. So we have a lot of homelessness in Washington, DC, and look, this doesn't mean that you can't give money and or food or help in any way. Of course, you can keep doing that, but your vision of who they are is very important. The way that you are transposing the energy on them is very important. I don't see them if I pass by homes, I'm oh my god, you are an amazing ascended master. Thank you for taking on this incredibly, and I'm getting chills again, incredibly challenging role for you to allow me, my heart, to open up with compassion.
And that's the key. Every time you help someone, it's an opportunity for you to open your heart. It's a blessing for you.
Yes.
I understand that you are willing to do some channeling for us.
I would love to. Yes.
All right. When would you like to do that?
I would love to do it now. Give me about 30 seconds to get into
sure.
this. And when they come through, they'll bring a message quickly, and then they say you can ask a question, I think, or pose a statement or something, and then we can begin dialoguing. You can ask anything you want, whatever your audience wants, and
we can go to the screen for that, Glenda.
Sure.
Yeah, we can go as long as you want. You tell me when to stop, and they'll bring me through. But I'm gonna be
tell you nothing. You just go with it. You just be.
Okay. You guys are still there, right? Yes. Okay, I'm going in now. Cool. And from the Antares Stargate, we come through in this way to co-create with you this beautiful reality of oneness, to merge our hearts with your hearts, to be one with the infinite, the all, the masters that you are. You are source. You always have been the source that you seek. You always will be the source that you are, regardless of the illusion of the realities that you choose to live in. As we merge our hearts with you and utter the sounds and vibrations to align your energies, to open up even further and further, to connect on a grander scale, on a more expanded scale, we thank you and honor your journey, the beautiful souls that you are, the light beings that each and every one of you is. You are magical beings filled with magnificence, filled with power. And it is through your infinite power that you are able to create the illusion of disempowerment. You are able to create the illusion of separation. Listen to what we are saying. It is through your infinite power that you always have, you always contain, you are, that you create a world of limitation. And as we tap into your energies, we would like to share with you the infinite interconnectedness of who you are. That you are always tethered, never ever disconnected, ever from your real self, which is the source that you are. And as you begin redefining your life, your world, your reality, from that perspective, that I am an interconnected being to all of the facets of who I am, then you begin shifting your vibration and frequency, which will begin shifting your world and experiences within your world. You have been gifted with the idea of voice, throat chakra, the ability to speak what you desire. Be careful, from a loving way, that you are magicians, and what you speak will come through, manifest. What you experience is a result of the definitions that are embedded within your psyche. So go within your hearts, the engine of creation itself. The engine of creation itself is your heart. Go there and redefine your life from a magical point of view. Begin seeing yourself as the infinite creator that you are. Begin seeing others as the infinite creators. And because of the idea of no separation, because of the idea that you are constantly tethered to all, that's what we mean, that the rest of you is you to begin with. That the beings, consciousnesses that you experience outside of your physical body, since you live in this three-dimensionality aspect of who you are, since you have chosen to become a crystallized version of consciousness itself in this human body, anything beyond and outside of this physical body, may it be a plant, a river, an ocean, the sunlight, the wind, birds, leaves, everything, because of the interconnectedness, is already you. and is part of you, and is there to reflect back to you the beauty that is contained within you. And with that, we begin our dialogue with you from this beautiful, magical way to reawaken the DNA structure, to activate it, for you to remember and recognize the signature vibration of the magic that contains within you. You are welcome to pose a question or make a statement at your leisure.
That was wonderful.
What do you see as the goal of one's existence?
The goal of your existence, each and every one of you, is to live your life from the aspect of truth and heart. Because you are always being communicated with and by many beings, other aspects of who you are. They are always attempting to guide you, speaking to you, giving you hints, breadcrumbs. Listen to that voice within and follow your heart. Follow anything that brings you excitement, anything that brings you joy, anything that makes you feel alive, because that vibration and frequency of love, of excitement, of passion is the aligned version of who you are. And when you are vibrating and emanating that frequency and vibration, then synchronicity abounds. Synchronicity will begin to guide you on your life. That is the, let's say, easiest way to live, although the concept of such effortless way may seem challenging to you because you have been living in the world of limitation, of disempowerment. And should you choose not to live from a space of heart, should you choose to live from a space of other facets of creation, creation itself will not judge you, because creation knows that you are ascended masters and honors your journey, and eventually you will loop back to your heart and you'll recognize the vibration and frequency of love, the integrator, the glue, the cohesive aspect of creation itself. All of it is valid. All of it is within your grasp and control. We will leave that choice up to you as a divine being with a free will choice to choose any reality of your choosing.
So if I understand you correctly, the goal is to facilitate and embrace our unique opportunities for love as we can affect them individually.
Indeed. Because you as a humanity, you as a soul, an individual soul, and as a collective of souls you call humanity, chose to come to this reality of separation to experience limitation because you are living lives simultaneously that are infinite. So because you are already living a life where you are consciousness, where you understand the concept of interconnectedness, where you know that you are a divine being, you chose to challenge yourself. And through the challenge of forgetfulness of who you truly are, this connected force with source, this powerful energy of love, allows you the rediscovery of who you are through the idea of limitation. It gets more complex within your world because there are facets within layers of other facets of perspectives. All of it is for your expansion. The key here is through the act of love, through the emanation and the frequency of love, you begin seeing the challenges from a loving perspective. And that will shift your reality to a new reality. If you begin seeing those challenges from a non-loving perspective, another valid part of creation that is honored as a divine being you are, if you begin seeing it from a non-loving perspective, you will experience life from that aspect. And it will take you through layers of limitations until eventually you rediscover yourself from the perspective of love and integration. Because truly, the idea of separation is to keep you separate from all. The idea of love is to bring back those separate pieces back to you, to begin seeing yourself as the whole infinite being that you are. But that journey of self-discovery through the aspect of love can come in many different ways, many layers and many facets. And through each of those layers and facets, they are honored by creation as expandedness. You are expanding through each and every one of them. But when you begin defining your life from that aspect, that every challenge I go through is me expanding as a soul, and if I infuse that challenge with unconditional love, then that challenge will be experienced differently. Then you begin, in a sense, through empowering yourself and steering your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We have a question in the chat. Would you be willing to entertain that?
We are all one, aren't we?
Is the time coming soon that we will connect with other beings we have not yet experienced on a global scale to come together in unity and love for expansion beyond this dimensional physical reality?
The answer, simple one, is yes. But what you keep forgetting and what you keep focusing on is the idea of other beings out there coming to Mother Earth to say hello to you, to make themselves known. We go back to the idea of a projection, the projector that you are, that everything is emanating from your heart. That although you have been trained to think that things are occurring outside of you to your planet, what we are here to tell you is you are the beacon of light that will bring them through. And it begins with self, it begins with your heart, it begins with tapping into the unconditional aspect of who you are. Because those other beings that are, let's say, more expanded than you are, that are more into the light, that are more consciousness, are aware of their consciousness, are waiting for you to be at the level of consciousness for both of your vibrations to emanate at once so you can see each other for the first time. So redefine the idea of contact as if occurring within my heart and not outside of myself and heart. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Absolutely. We aren't separate. That is what Julie, who asked the other question, also stated in the chat room. Now, is there anything last second that you would like to tell us before we have Toni come back to us? And
Yes.
yes.
To resonate on the idea of contact, know that you are the impact that you are attempting to reach. The change of the world that you speak of, your humanity, begins with you and ends with you. You are that powerful. Work on self-love. Work on the aspects of who you are. Go within your hearts and worry solely about you. Because when you do that, when you begin vibrating and meeting yourself from the first time from a loving aspect and perspective, you begin emanating the frequency of unconditional love for the other humans on your planet to be able to match, to be able to recognize. And as you do that, your humanity will shift into the new reality of your choosing. You
be
are.
the change you want to see.
Repeat.
Be the change you want to see.
Indeed, because you are it. You are the source. The other humans that you see on your planet, the other consciousnesses that you see around you, are you to begin with. You are projecting everything from your heart. You are literally the producer of whatever reality that you see. That's why we always go back to you and to self. Love yourself from every aspect of who you are. Go back throughout your life in childhood. Every version of you that you have judged, every decision that you have made that you may think was not good, was judged. Face each and every one of them with love and thank that version of you that made that decision. Thank that version of you that acted on those choices with unconditional love, as each of those choices were perfect to begin with. You are a perfect divine being. Every choice that you made is perfect. Begin seeing yourself as the perfect vessel. And as you do that, you will bring the pieces back together to see yourself for the first time as the perfect divine image of the source that you are.
Thank you.
That is where magic begins. That is where impact is created through you. And as you begin seeing yourself as this magical, perfect being, you begin projecting a world of such, a humanity of such.
Thank you so much for opening that reality into everyone's understanding.
Indeed. With our unconditional love, bright, 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 bright white light of creation, an infinite, infinite, infinite open heart. We thank you for this beautiful co-creation and allowing us to see you from this perspective as we are learning and expanding through you, our ascended masters that you are. We will go back through the Antares Stargate and bring the channel back momentarily to his body. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
That was wonderful. Beautiful message. Beautiful message.
Some messages.
That's messages.
Thank you.
So before we run out of time, I understand that you are in possession of this crystal skull, and you have the ability to share that power. Do you want to share how people can find out more about that and get in touch with that?
Yes, thank you. So, like when you asked me initially about my connection, like with the praying mantises, and I never had a connection like with them. So I have a few like crystal skulls that are like the human ones, right? That I began connecting with, and then like one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go online and like get praying mantis crystal skulls. I'm thinking they exist. No one on earth makes them. I searched up and everywhere. So I began creating them initially, like for me, because I wanted one because I have this infinite love for them. But now I have them, like for the public. I have my own shamanic ritual, like with sounds and all kinds of like cool stuff to, like to embed energies like in them to help you expand your mind, to help you connect with your beings, and I can like imbue them with all kinds of energies, all kinds of healing stuff. In reality, like what I always tell my clients, this is only a permission slip, right? Because in reality, you don't need any of those things. Everything is in your heart. But if you're on your journey to rediscover that power, like these things can really work. And I have all kinds of looks, all kinds of sizes, amazing, all handmade, all hand carved, all natural stone and no dyeing of anything. Like what I told my carvers are, you get it from Mother Earth, however like she created, and you just carve it. That's all I want you to do. I don't want to be altered in any way. Yes. And I bring them to all of my shows when I go. But if you go to my website, ToniGhazi.com, ToniGhazi.com, is where you find me. Like you can book channeling sections there. I don't have all the praying mantises like there because I'm updating the store, so I'll get more inventory. But like we can talk about that privately. I can show you what I have. Yeah, that's basically it, the short version of it. Yeah.
It's even though you just showed it there, and you were talking about you infuse them with special energy, special healing. You could feel the energy right away. I felt it right away, and when you were channeling the love that was being sent, it's amazing. It's definitely amazing.
Thank you for saying it. And then remember, like crystals are conscious energies.
Yes.
Although like they may seem solid to us and hard and like you may think, oh, how can he imbue them? Their consciousness. They speak to you, they communicate back to you. So in you, when you become empowered enough to remember that you're divine, you can do that with anything. Right? Yes. You don't need it's because the whole idea of these crystal skulls, like for me, is to remind you how powerful you are, so you can begin trusting yourself, and you don't need me or other channelers to give you those messages. Because truly, we ascend when we remember that we are divine. That's how humanity ascends. It's not for me to sit here and like channel for you all day and give you the messages. It's for you to know that you are powerful, and for you to listen, because you're always being communicated with. Always, you just aren't aware you are, so you don't hear the messages.
And it's just an honor, really, to have you here today, to have you channel the messages, and
to feel you.
Yes, your energy comes right through, and it's wonderful. So we thank you for being here with us, and definitely, we would love to have you in the future.
Did you say you were writing a book?
I'm also writing a book. And look, there isn't information about praying mantis. If you go online, there is nothing about, like, very little. When I say very little, like 0.01%. Yeah, I'm writing a book channeled messages like from like the praying mantises, because like they've delivered some powerful concepts, and you feel it like beyond the words. And then like a little bit about my history. I'm also going to be featured in a movie in like 2026 that's called Inspired, with I'll be like one of 6 like executive producers, like for coaching, like corporate coaching. So I am also being called like to do like corporate coaching, but from the spiritual like perspective, right? Like bring like what we like just spoke of, like to the corporate world, because I want like companies and everyone to begin seeing each other, their staff and like their leaders, as like infinite divine beings. And I want to restructure all of that like limited way of like running a business from a very spiritual, magical way. So I have a lot on my plate that's unfolding.
Well, certainly when you're done with the book, please let us know if you'd like to come back on and discuss it with us.
Yes.
And if anything else comes up, please feel always welcome.
And we'd like to thank you, and please hold as we thank you, the audience. And as always, we love you. Many blessings. Bye.